On advancement and external affairs to order. We're going to take the following items for approval, okay? Item 1A. What am I doing? This is not what we're supposed to be doing right now, is this?
Yes,
Because Glenda's going to be giving the report.
at the end.
It's at the end.
Okay. Okay, good, thank you. Item 1A is for approval of the minutes, October 3rd, 2021. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second.
Okay, great. Hi, Mayday, how are you? Can we take a vote?
No, any discussion?
Right. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any oppositions? Any abstentions? I abstain. I wasn't here at the last meeting. So, everyone with one exception. Okay? And now we'll address the policy calendar. Item B1 is the resolution requesting the naming of the Richard Lanchman. Is it Lanchman?
No.
Lockman, endowed chair of sociology at Queens College. James Gallo, Vice Chancellor, hi James, is going to provide further background on this.
Thank you. Richard Lockman was a professor of sociology at the University of Wisconsin-Madison for 7 years. He then was a distinguished professor at SUNY Albany for almost 30 years. His aunt, Ruth Becker, has given $2 million to name the Richard W. Lackman Endowed Chair of Sociology at Queens College professorship. And that's all I have.
Good, thank you. Want to move the approval of policy?
Do I have a second?
Okay. Do I have a second? I'm going to get there, girl.
Second.
Yeah, okay, good. Any discussion? All right, I'm a little disjointed because of our previous conversation, right? All in favor?
Aye.
Any oppositions or abstentions? This motion carries, thank you. Item policy B2 is a resolution requesting the naming of the Professor Arlene Podo's Business and Computer Information Systems classroom at Queensborough Community College. Again, Vice Chancellor Gallo, can you provide us some background on this item?
Sure, thank you. Arlene is an alumna of Queens College, receiving 2 degrees from Queens College. She served as a professor at Queensborough Community College starting in 1981 and served the college for 3 decades. She was a lecturer, assistant professor, associate professor, and professor until she passed away in March 2018. Her husband and her children have given $75,000 to name this classroom in her memory.
Okay. This is in alignment with the policies that we have for classroom namings, so I just wanted to say that. I move the policy item B2. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Any abstentions? This motion carries. The other thing that I want to say is I want to thank the family for this, and I wanted to do the same thing in the earlier one. Sometimes family members join us when we make these naming rights, and so I just want to make sure that we honor them and are very grateful to the work that they've done for us. Policy item B3 is a resolution requesting the naming of the Joseph Score Reading Room at the Macaulay College, Honors College. And again, Vice Chancellor Gallo, can you provide some background on this?
Sure. So this resolution is to name the Joseph Shore Reading Room at Macaulay Honors College. Macaulay received $1.5 million from the estate of Mr. Shore in 2015. This gift will benefit all Macaulay Honors College students by providing a gathering space for them, and this naming is consistent with their policy.
Great, thank you for that. Any discussion? I want to move this resolution.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Good. Any oppositions or abstentions? Great. This item carries. With no more items on the policy calendar, I move to the informational items on the agenda. And we have 3 presentations. One is from Senior Vice Chancellor for Senior Vice Chancellor Glenda Grace to provide a report to the committee.
We're excited to be here for our second meeting. As the chair said, we're really privileged to work with so many dedicated people, staff members, faculty members, students, and also family and community members who give to CUNY because CUNY is given to them. So we're excited to serve this committee and help you do what this committee which is supposed to do, which is to help with engagement with key constituents, fundraising, and the development of effective advocacy programs for the university. I'm going to address some of the work that we do with elected officials and some of the strategies that we're dealing with to maximize state and city funds. Vice Chancellor Junco is going to talk about our marketing strategies, and Vice Chancellor Gallo will describe some of our work with advancement. Now, with regard to elected officials, this is my first report, so the one thing that's important is to hear from you about what else you want to hear about. And we'll make sure that we give you information that you want to hear about that's going to assist you in doing the job that you do. One of the things I want to kind of describe about government relations is the fact that we have one person on each campus who is engaged with their president and dean who works with elected officials. The campus members regularly meet with myself and staff from our city relations office and our state relations office. And the group is called yet another acronym, ERC, the External Relations Council. And we meet a couple of times a semester. Sometimes it's just to go over what the budget request is. This year, we decided to be a lot more aggressive about training of our external relations councils because, as you know, and you know it better than anyone else, you look at our finances, you look at everything else, we need more resources. And we want to make sure we're not leaving any money on the table. So we had a really amazing training in October where about 50 people attended from the campuses, and then students also attended. And it was run by 2 amazing staff from our city relations office, John Katowski and Stacy Emanuel. And this half-day training talked about different aspects of budgeting and city budgeting. And what's interesting is we have a wide range of folks on the External Relations Council, some who just started yesterday and some people have been doing it for 20, 30 years. And the great thing about it is everyone was engaged because they were giving more information about the budgeting process, really detailed information about how the city budget is adopted, what happens before it's adopted, once it's adopted, the reconciliation that needs to be done after the adopting. And also they talked a lot about the idea that all city council members and borough presidents have discretionary funds that we are eligible to apply for. And I'd like to say that every school has always done that, but that's not the case. Our job is to make sure that every school talks to the borough presidents and council members to get money to help with different expenses or with capital programming. So that was a large part of the conversation that we had and thought it was very productive. I think we'll see, will yield benefits, and when we report on it towards the end of the year, I'll let you know how much this training, the difference that the training made. In December, we're going to be doing the exact same thing for state budgeting. Again, people understand the budget the Board of Trustees adopt, but there's also money that different assembly members and senators have that delegations put together to do funding, and we want to make sure folks understand that can make a huge difference to campuses to get certain projects that they've been waiting to get done that haven't maybe moved to the front of the queue for the overall budget, but they can collect money to get work done. We're also going to be talking about the New York State Commission on Ethics and Lobbying in Government. I think it's NYCLEG, the new JCOPE, so that people understand what the rules are and how to engage and make sure that we don't run afoul of any of those rules. So, like I said, one of the things that we're doing this semester is we're making sure folks are trained and they understand that there's money on the table, and if there's need, and we know that there's need, we need to wipe everything off the table and get it for our students. So that's one of the things we're doing with the state, with our external affairs folks. And any questions?
One question.
you said that we have a state and city relations office. Do we have a sense of, I mean, are these, how many people do we have in each one?
We have 4 people in the city relations office. We have 3 people in the Albany office.
Okay, and are they also represent us when it comes to policy or legislation?
Yes, actually, especially one of the jobs that the folks in the Albany office do is they actually make sure that they get opinions from people within CUNY about different legislation. So what happens when things are introduced, we have bill screeners on in different areas, the bills come to, so we have a sense of if it's going to be an additional cost, what this is going to mean, is it practical, does it work or doesn't it work? We have actually a really good example of a bill that had to do with some services to students that was introduced last year. We had some real issues with it. We communicated what those issues were, and the bill actually was changed. So this year, we actually can, if it moves forward, we would be in a much better position. So that's one of the things that we tend to do. There's a couple of meetings every now and again. What'll happen is they sometimes get initial information, and then we follow up in the chancellery.
Yeah, I'd like to talk to you about that
Oh,
often.
absolutely.
Anybody have any other questions around
Just-
intergovernmental affairs?
Just keep in mind the difference between capital and expense.
Absolutely.
Capital is a lot easier because it's bonded. And maybe just because I'm wearing a facilities committee hat as well, it's just we need more capital funding for our aged buildings.
Oh, no, there's no question. I mean, just in terms of my experience, I know one of the things that we did at Queens College is there was an issue about I know more about theaters than any lawyer should know who doesn't do entertainment work. But at one point, we needed additional fire protection, and we had real issues about getting it. We ended up getting that money from assembly members helping us out.
Yeah, Assembly and Senate can give more in capital than they can on
Yeah.
expenses.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Don't forget to lobby the commissioners too.
We talk, actually, but that's actually one of the things that we're talking about, making sure that we have a good sense of the different connections with commissioners, and I've been spending a little extra time talking to commissioners, answering some of their questions so that we know one another.
Right.
Any other questions?
Any other questions? Okay, next report.
Excellent.
Great. I go next? Great.
Enough time.
Hi. The clicker, Albert? Is it over there? Meet Alberto Maristani here, who's our art director, who's going to be helping with the presentation. We're going to do it on the PowerPoint. We wanted to take a few minutes I can hopefully move through this fairly quickly to talk about advertisement. As you probably know, 3-4 years ago, the university was mostly focused on print, on newspapers, maybe print subway. What we have learned since and every time we're out there is that our students are digital, are in where you see them all the time on their phones, and we're gonna meet them there. And so we have spent the last 3 years really building up an online, a really robust online advertisement strategy and tracking those results. And so here here is it's a two-piece thing. That doesn't mean we still have a piece on the traditional media, more than a piece, and we feel that complements the online piece. The idea is that our students see the ad at night. They get on the subway, they get on their own radio, on TV or something, and it complements it. But the strongest results are definitely on the online space. You can see there Facebook, Google, TikTok, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Reddit, and music, Spotify, and Hulu, TV streaming. And on the other side, on the traditional media piece, on subways and buses, on Metro North, LIRR, and the side of buses, TV, radio, LinkedIn, YC, and billboards and others. Community and ethnic media too, and some other publications, print publications. So the bulk of our campaign, it's on the 4 year and 2 years, right, undergraduate, not the bulk, I would say, but, a strong, the area where we're very focused is on our 4 and 2 years. But because of what we're seeing and the numbers that we are seeing, we are promoting heavily CUNY Reconnect, which, as you know, is an effort by originated in the city council and Speaker Adams to sort of bring in older students or students who were once CUNY students or once students in general, bring them back. We are also promoting TAP for part-time students, which is a great, the expansion of TAP for part-time students thanks to the Governor Hochul. We also see declines in transfers, and we are focusing on that. So we have a campaign, and I'm going to show you some of the campaigns. Grad studies, both on the open houses and on applications. CUNY ASAP, which strong, they have had a presence, and we work with them. They are a little bit independent, but we work with them in their ads. CUNY Online, which we're expanding for the spring, and generally we do summer, and CUNY Lifting New York, which is what we hope will be a branding campaign different from an admissions, which is what you see on this list. Digital, what we target, we get this question constantly, where are you targeting? We target the New York DMA, New York City, Long Island, portions of New York State, Connecticut, New Jersey, parts of Pennsylvania. We're targeting students from competitor colleges in our undergrad and transfer campaigns. We're actually looking to expand, which is a question we get often, why don't we advertise more nationally? And so we're looking to advertise in states that historically has sent more students to CUNY and start there, right? It's hard for, we don't have the capacity to advertise in every single state, and we're looking forward to doing that and seeing the results that we get. And as I mentioned, sort of the digital placements serve as a touch point, right? And we combine that with with sort of print and more traditional media. So I feel like it would be nice to see these ads. These are 15-second ads that are running. Oops, Alberto has to go back and forth to play these. Take a second. They're 15-second ads, and they is what our students are seeing. Perhaps you have not seen them, perhaps because some of our students here, but you haven't seen them because maybe you're not the target audience. But they're very quick and very effective, and I am proud to say that we work with this mostly internally. They feature our own students. They feature the diversity of students, both in ethnic, race, and also age. The first ad is an ad from last year, but it did extremely well, and it also an ad that we'll be using nationally and have used out of New York. You ready? Go.
I moved across the country because I knew CUNY was the college of my dreams. I'm diving in with the most affordable degree in New York City. I'm graduating debt-free with CUNY and changing the world with CUNY. Join me.
That's one. Just play them back to back, Alberto, I think.
Starting college, I didn't know what I wanted to do. CUNY taught me what my dream job was, then helped me land it. I went from cashier to finance intern to full-time analyst at a top bank all months before my graduation. I'm financing my future, and CUNY is the best investment I've ever made. Join me.
Great, that's a great one.
That's right, thank you. Yep.
I came from Nora to CUNY to shoot my shot. With a full ride undergrad scholarship and a master's on the way, I'm achieving my goals on the field and in the classroom. CUNY made me fall in love with the city and gave me the team I need to succeed. Join me.
Also good ad for international audience, so we're trying to open that market too for us.
Before I started college, I was striking out big time, but CUNY gave me a second chance. My mentors and advisors taught me to seize every opportunity. Shortstop, joining student government, and now educating the future of my community. My CUNY family empowered me to coach my team and pursue teaching. Now I do the same for my students. Join me.
That's a lot that we just filmed that. Okay. Oh, you moved it. Okay, and this we have Veronica later on still, right? Okay, let's not play her now. But this is because we have it in a little bit of a longer a horizontal that it's just nicer to see it on the wider screen. These are the CUNY Reconnect ads. I hope you've seen this on the right. I see them all the time because I guess we're older. We could come back to college, so it's easier to see those. This is the campaign. This on the right have been running since earlier this year, and this is a video of a mother who left college and came back, right, after her kid was born. Jasmine.
I dropped out of school at 15 when my daughter was born, but thanks to the support of CUNY, my degree and my career are just a few months away. CUNY always says, start here, go anywhere. And for me and my daughter, I know our future starts now. Join us.
We're also promoting with this ad and in others, that our schools offer child care support, which is a great, our students, we ended up interviewing a lot of students and many of them mentioned that, and so we want to highlight that more. It's a great program that 17 of our campuses offer it. This is just a taste. This is a sort of a different type of design on promoting the part-time tab. This has been running also for a few weeks. These are static ads. And this is a transfer. We work with admissions and with enrollment to highlight transfer week and highlight transfers. And so this has these have been running also for a few weeks. This is the graduation. The one on the right is for the sessions, information sessions, and the one on the left is a graduate program ad. 15 seconds also.
As a journalist, I shed light on stories left untold. My CUNY graduate program informs my work, giving me the tools I need to refine my craft. CUNY asks you to push past what you think you're capable of and go beyond that. With the help of my peers and professors turned mentors, I am breaking the story while writing my own. Join me.
And now I just want to talk a little bit about traditional media that, as I explained, are the secondary touch point. This is the places where they appear. I also wanted to take a minute. MTA, Buzz TV, radio, both Spanish TV and English TV, Spanish radio, English radio. We also do billboard. We're looking into taxi tops, digital newsletters. We advertise on those sometimes. And the ethnic papers. Let's do this first because this is great. The one on the right, Alberto will play them back to back. These are both part of the CUNY Reconnect. This one's a digital ad for Subway on the right that is already running. It doesn't have audio because it's on the subway, and this is a 30-second TV ad, the one I was just mentioning. Love this ad.
I struggled with the shame of not finishing my degree. CUNY gave me the special support I needed to finish my bachelor's. They gave me personalized help with re-enrolling, making sure my classes and financial aid was set. And my professors and advisors guided me every step of the way. 30 years later, with a new bachelor's on my resume and my master's on the way, I now have the confidence to finally reach my full potential.
For the CUNY Reconnect campaign. Go ahead. And the great thing about the digital, right? You call, you put them on, and they're on the next day. We saw them, we put them a couple weeks ago. They were immediately up. I do want to talk a little bit about sort of these are the expenses from last year, and a little bit how they did both in socials and in digital media and in more traditional media. So just so you have a sense, we spend $600,000 in paid digital ads and delivered 30,000 application starts. Those are robust numbers. These are trackable to the start of the application. You can see the strongest showing there on Facebook and Google. We were in other places, but these are the strongest. Then we spent $20,000 to promote. So basically $20,000 and got 21,000 clicks. On TikTok only, we got 17,000 for our undergraduate programs, and you can see there on Reddit and on LinkedIn. This is lessons from 2022 on the other side. We ran an ad on a digital ad for summer, in 320 subway cars. We spent $50,000. It's a small buy. I mean, for digital on the subway, it's a normal buy. But the ads were fantastic, so much so that Outfront, which is the company that does the that is the only company that does placement on the ads, feature is it easy to play? Featured it in a reel, this reel about great ads, and told us that it was just really an amazing campaign because it was fresh, because it featured real students. So we're very proud of the campaign. But we can track all of these campaigns have their own URLs. And with all of that, and in the 320 cards and everything, it delivered 223 site visits. Compared to the numbers you saw before, they're just very small numbers. And so it works as a complement, just not on its own. I love to see ads in the subway, they make me happy. But in terms of converting into applications and to getting this CUNY in front of our prospective students, we just have learned that we're just getting a lot more bang for the buck on digital. And these are two other. That's a campaign. No, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, that was it. It was just that they put it. Another example here, we put $50,000 on Spectrum, got 5,600 commercial spots. We got only 2 direct website visits from those. And we paid $14,000 for a billboard in Harlem that brought us 2 direct website visits. And I just want to give you a sense that on a 8-week basic run on the subway and the rails in this case include both the LIRR and Metro North, in print and digital without the printing costs around $750,000. And so I like it, but I think we do it for branding. We connect it with something, we bring it all together. I think that's the end of that. I'm happy to take questions. The good news, we spent around $1 million last year, thanks to a lot, support. We're spending triple that this year, and that does not include a chunk of $5 million that the state gave us and the board approved one-time funding for fiscal '23, and mostly for '23 and '24 that was just approved, as you know, and that will be looking at where it makes more sense. But what we want to do, all of this promotes the CUNY brand. We're focusing on the schools that had the biggest losses in enrollment. As you know, those are mostly the community colleges. We try to turn some of this content into specific campaigns that maybe we target around the geographical areas, try to sort of focus, raise the profile of the colleges with the support of Central. So we're looking into those in the coming weeks.
First of all, thank you very much for the report and sharing it and understanding how we connect to the media and the potential students that are here, and as you said, the real life, you feel it from the students that are here, and that I'm sure it goes a long way. Is there a way to reach out to high school students? So I know when I had high school students at home, I was never able to reach out to them. So I'm not quite sure what that secret sauce is. But just so is there a particular? Are they directed at the various high schools? Is it directed to the sports or the clubs that are there? Just curious as to your thoughts.
On the advertisement, and Gio is here as our advertisement manager, if we have more specific questions, but the ads are targeted by age and they capture the high school population, right? Our sort of prime target group, or not prime, but one of our prime target groups are seniors, juniors, and seniors in not only at the DOE, at the public school system, but sort of across sort of the New York DMA area. There's other efforts. I mean, I'm just talking about the advertisements efforts. Obviously, on the enrollment side and on the admissions team, there's other sort of more direct touches, I think, that are more maybe person to person, but I don't know.
I will add that we are learning that there are certain applications that high schools use to track student success. And there is one company very much like Outfront who is allowed to place advertisements in this application. So we're like, doing all the background and searches, at least to target them there. And
Yeah,
then,
and then that's why, that there's so much emphasis on the medium that we're placing our messaging on, because we want to just find these students wherever they are, so that's why we're on Snapchat, we're on TikTok, we're experimenting, we're testing and learning, so that, we can just continue to optimize our strategy. But
Any other question? You have a question? Go ahead.
I do have a question. So, sorry, I'll take my mask off so you can see me. Hi there. Thank you so much for this presentation. I was wondering, I know at least at Borough of Manhattan Community College, the students that we're not retaining are not female identified, but male identified. And I noticed that most of your 2-year ads included female identified people, and I was wondering whether it's possible to also include male identified people to really ensure that we're communicating to students that they are welcome and that they should return and all of these kinds of things.
Yes, I believe, and correct me, that the one of the student with the beard, that it's a recent ad, and the other one, the second ad, these are undergrad, so they target both on the 2 and the 4 year.
Okay.
But we're conscious, right, that we do make the ads, and we always hear, so we look to reflect everyone, right? And so we're constantly sort of incorporating, and the good thing is we do these ads, we put them up, we monitor them, we change them, we adjust them. So I appreciate the feedback, because if you notice, it means that it's important, and we'll continue, but it was leaning more female. Now we feel like at least we have these 2 ads we feel very good about, but we can add more. So thank you for the feedback.
Thank you so much.
Cynthia, then Michael.
Hi, thank you. I just wanted to ask is the advertising campaign going to the whole metropolitan area, including New Jersey?
Yes, it goes not to all of New Jersey, right, but to what's considered the DMA, which is the closest to the New York area, which is, of course, the largest marketing area in the country.
Oh, great. Yesterday on the expressway, I saw this huge ad for SUNY. Where are we?
And what I say to that is, we've been at it for a bit, and
Billboard.
the billboard that I show you, right? They're nice to see them. We're driving. I just don't know. I also have, I don't have a teenager anymore, but a 21-year-old, and they're never looking out the window when we're in the car. But it is, these things all complement each other, and I know, so I just feel that we've been at it, and I know SUNY has, it's been out for a couple of, for the last 6 weeks or so, and we're monitoring them too, and we're monitoring the results they are getting, and we feel that we're doing well, and we've been at it, I think, for longer. And it's good that they're advertising too.
Thank you.
Yeah, but they're advertising free tuition, and I was like, liars.
But anyway, and also they have no
Michael?
picture. No, let me.
Just speaking on behalf of the Staten Islanders here, can we take a look at the ferry ads? There's 75,000 people ride the ferry every day. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's effective, but they're there. They're
Sure, I actually, that's a good point. Thank
QR
you.
codes.
It's that's not part of the rails, but it is, right, I know, separate, but we can, thank you for the reminder.
Any other questions? No, I had a question.
Yep.
Thank you for the results, all right, and the number of clicks and all that, 'cause that's what everybody counts,
Yes,
right?
that's where the rubber.
Is there a way that we crosswalk that or have a correlation with admissions? And so that we can see, like one thing is clicking and which is important, engagement is important, but then the outcome. Do we have a way of crosswalking that?
So this is a click not on the app, but it's a click on the applications. It's a
Right.
little bit farther along the line. This is a question that we need answered too, right, of those. The way it's structured now, if a student starts clicking and drops at some point, there's a notification to the school they were applying. There's been some issues, we need to figure out some legal issues and some privacy issues, but we have put this request and we're working closely with Formoso and with the IT team.
Right.
And I think we're gonna have it. And so I should be able to report on that more concretely because we need it.
And it's good to find out early in the campaign what's not driving traffic, right?
Yeah.
So,
That's a good thing about digital. You put it up, it's a dot, take it down, you fix it, or
Yeah, but you
just-
also saw that billboards, all of the traditional high-end
Yeah.
ones, you know, to monitor that.
Yeah, I wanted to, I know you've been talking about,
Yeah,
AB's
so-
Associate Vice Chancellor Monica
So
Tavares.
the tracking for us is extremely important because we are investing funds, right? So we want to make sure that those funds are working on
Right,
behalf of the university. So we're working with several members of the team to see how we can track from the beginning, right? I applied to finish, right? And that's the goal. The goal for us is we want to know how many students actually applied from an ad. So we're doing that work right now. The other thing that we're working with CIS, which is great, and Gio will handle this piece, is getting those reports of when students drop off. And Gio, you want to explain what you plan to do with that data?
Yeah, ultimately, right now, the way that our campaigns are structured, we're essentially telling these platforms, I want to maximize as many people, I want to bring as many people as possible to start their application. After our workflow with CIS is finished, this project we're working on now, we'll essentially be able to tell the platforms, we want to maximize the number of applications completed. So it'll completely revamp our strategy, and it'll help us, deliver a definite amount of completes, and that's our ultimate goal. This new initiative that we're working on with CIS would help us re-engage the people who've dropped off in the application process with messaging saying, hey, come back, finish your application, in hopes that, those people actually take that action. So, it's a lot of things that we're working on with CIS to try to tie it all back to those completes.
Thank you. Michael?
And if you find like there's a specific barrier that everybody drops at this time, that might be something internally we can.
That's what we're trying to track right now, and looking at the data, right, to inform how we do
Get a
it.
letter recommendation in or something.
Okay. Any other question? Because in interest of time, we have one more report. Go ahead.
Just a comment. Thank you for supporting the colleges that are having difficulty enrollment, and the outreach may prove very helpful.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. And we had a little bit, taste of it. We tested something, and we're going to build on that. So I just want to thank all of you for listening, and the team here for their support.
One last comment. You mentioned that you do them in Spanish and English. Do we do anything in any other languages?
No, but we're going to get there.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Thank
I mean, and yeah, I mean, we had some Spanish radio, Spanish TV. We see just much better results our students tend to be more English dominant. And though I feel there's a way to reach parents also, to remind their students through the Spanish and through other languages. But the more sort of we test, really, the more it comes that. But we still need them. Like, I'm looking forward, if we figure out the international piece,
Right.
you go to
what I was
Santo Domingo,
thinking
to
of.
Dominican Republic, to Puerto Rico, other markets nearby.
And to expand on that, we put out an RFP to work with a state agency, right, firm, to help us with the community and ethnic media. It's a lot for us to do in-house because you're dealing with multiple vendors. So we will target community and ethnic, right, and be very targeted with language, based on our population.
Yeah. The SUNY ad is clearly targeted towards families and parents, because it talks about free tuition. I don't think that's the first thing.
Free tuition and free application, right?
Yeah, something like that. Okay, thank you very
Thank you.
much.
I think she's still.
Can I
I'm
ask
sorry,
one very
yes,
quick
of
question?
course you can
I'm so
ask
sorry.
one more question quickly.
I was just wondering, so we lost a lot of students during COVID, obviously, and I was wondering if it might be useful to have an ad that mentions that says like, hey, COVID's been hard, and maybe this is a time when you dropped out of school, and like, we welcome you back. Because I feel like a lot of students don't, they had a tough time. Some of them went on probation. Some of them, and I often feel like we're trying to sort of talk about this culture of care, but I don't often see that kind of displayed. And I feel like students need to feel invited back. you know?
It's a good point. We did that more right after, right? I mean, it feels like we're still in it, but right after. A little bit, I would say much of the CUNY Reconnect messaging is about that, but maybe we need to be more explicit in some instances, and we could test that. The good thing is that we could test it, so thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thank you all very much. Thank you both.
Thank you.
One more presentation.
Great, thank you. In terms of advancement, in August, we had a training day for all advancement staff from all 25 colleges. We had good representation and good attendance from most of the colleges. We even had an unwilling participant in a college president who may or may not be at this table. And I think we're trying to do more of that as opposed to just doing 1 day or 2 days during the summer, having what I call continuing education trainings throughout the year, ideally 2 or 3 times a year. Building on that training, we also need to train our academic leaders. So I've had conversations with some third-party trainers that I've worked with at UCLA and other places about providing some of that training for presidents, for deans, for other faculty leaders identified either through leadership or through the Senate who have a lot of promise, who we could potentially support to raise more resources for their areas. Continuing on this theme of training, we recently shared the communication with all presidents regarding their working relationships with the independent foundations. We will be having a training session that will be led by myself, along with Jane Davis from the Office of General Counsel and Christina Chiappa, the CFO, to just talk about best practices and how we can be proactive and partner together and make some of the reporting a little less cumbersome for everyone and just be in compliance with a lot of things we need to be in compliance with. Let me look at my notes. In terms of raising philanthropic resources, we will be launching an endowed scholarship match early in 2023. We will be using some resources to provide matching funds for new gifts to endowed scholarships. We hope to drive roughly $16 to $20 million in new philanthropy to the campuses. That will be matched by about $4 million in resources, which, when fully realized, will generate roughly $800,000 to $1 million in scholarship support for our students on an annual basis. Lastly, a couple things. Tuesday, a week from tomorrow, November 29th, is Giving Tuesday. It's CUNY Tuesday. It launches what I am calling a season of giving. I certainly hope to report some strong numbers with you early in 2023 at our next committee meeting in terms of our results.
You might want to remind the chancellor that he should approach every trustee.
Sure.
On Giving Tuesday.
And we're supporting with some ads on CUNY Tuesday.
Yeah, sure. I will most certainly do that.
I'm sorry, it wasn't the chancellor. It was the chairman of the board.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Last but not least, I think there's a reasonably strong pipeline of gift conversations taking place throughout the campuses. Most campuses are engaged in 7-figure gift conversations. Some are even engaged in 8-figure gift conversations. I hope that 8-figure gift conversations become more routine around CUNY, potentially even 9-figure gift conversations, that becomes a little more normalized. And we will do that through having a dedicated, what I call a principal gifts program, which focuses on that top of the pyramid. And lastly, data is something I care a lot about. It drives a lot of my decisions, and I'm trying to improve how we look at data, how we consolidate data, how we store data. On my first day on the job at CUNY, some of you may have heard this story, I made a gift to actually 24 of the 25 campuses. The 25th, I couldn't do it online. 24 different records were created in 24 different databases. We need to change that. And I'm trying to partner with the CIO on how we do that. That will be a part of the larger CRM process that the university is undergoing.
Right. The other thing that I would welcome from you is that this committee, many of the same people serve on it, worked very rigorously for 3 years to get some parameters and guidance and standards for giving. So please feel free to, give us feedback on those, because those were established a while back. Some of them may be dated, some of them may need some revisions. So we would welcome that. And then one of the other recommendations that we made, and I don't think we ever acted on, was, and I'm so happy to hear you talk about so much of this cross-training, was to pair presidents who had a strong acumen for development with maybe some presidents who either don't have a strong acumen but are new to New York. We have plenty of those now. So to help them, pair them up and shore them up a little bit. The skills are the same, it's just the access and the approach. So that's a recommendation we would love for you to at least consider and see if that's a possibility. And you, as the liaison, would be great spokesperson for that, and encourage partners for that. Because it's not about one having more, one being better than the other. It's just about, skill capacity and fundraising is a muscle. And you have to keep developing that muscle, trust, and so. But give us feedback, because some of those things may no longer be applicable or need to be revised.
Sure, thank you. And I guess just on that note, I have been to, I think, 20 of the campuses so far and spent some time with the presidents as well as their advancement executive, just to sort of build that, to hear where the strengths are, where there's some room for opportunity, and try and act on it.
Now, the one thing I guess going forward, I would love to hear the difference of what your strategy is from the university perspective versus the campus perspective. Obviously, I think since I've been on the board, most of it has been done campus by campus. And if you have 25 different databases, you're in trouble. But that needs to, besides consolidating the data piece, but just understanding how you, from a strategy position, what are you pitching university-wise? What is the best for the university versus what you allow? I mean, I know the campuses are probably dealing with their own personal alumni from those things, but what is the overall arching, and how do you? I know there's going to be territorial wars of that. How does that work? How does how does you do the donors for the university? How do you not get people disgruntled that, that was a CCNY
And you
donor.
could also
Why did you take that from me?
I will say one of the things the one way that we've been trying to deal with that is by dealing with the foundations and meeting with the foundations and having conversations. And the great thing is the last call we had with the foundations, I think it was like your second call or your first call, there was really a willingness or discussion and a realization that working together, there's a very different yield than if you're going on your own.
No, I think that's it. About the 1 + 1 makes 3.
That's right. And so the good news is that the foundation chairs expressed that on their own before we brought it up. So our job is to exploit that and make that happen.
And then there are some other major umbrella organizations in New York who've had this, competing fundraising demands, and you can also share and learn from them what they've done. I know with the Hispanic Federation, we would say give to the university before you give to the Hispanic Federation, but we could also leverage your dollars more. So, it was those kind of message. I mean, give to a member agency before, but there way, so that there are ways that you can get some more information on how it's done in New York and how people feel comfortable with it in New York. Michael?
So just keep in mind, and I'm sure you're aware, that CUNY is top 10 realtor in New York City. We have in New York City, we have a lot of property. We have options for advertising, for monetizing the actual campuses. There's 300,000 people in New York City walking around with this, and there's nothing on the back. Just ideas like we had to drag the MTA kicking and screaming to put advertisements on the turnstiles, and they weren't monetizing their own system. I know we do that a little bit, and I don't want to be. No, obviously, you don't want to be exploitive of the campus feel of it, but we have an advertiser's dream of our of our core constituency, most students are 18 to 24. And that's like the prime advertising connection. So utilizing the actual resources that we have on our own, we could be advertising, you know, 1 million people a day walk past Baruch. SUNY can put their billboard up there, you know. But just little things like that are ways to monetize our own campuses.
Yeah, thank you.
Because we're not getting any more from Albany or City Hall.
We're definitely not getting any more from City Hall, I can tell you that during today's conversation. Okay. So, which is disheartening. Any other questions, any other comments, last minute? Hearing none, I thank the three of you and your respective team members. It's continuous dialogue, and we'll keep working on it together. And with that, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you. Thank you.